Good morning, it's Lisa with Lisa Heal Yourself. Whew, and I'm winded. I'm going to tell you why in a minute, but today I want to talk about smashing through your mental barriers, okay? So you are sick, you're playing out a chronic illness, you're playing out a chronic pain pattern, you're playing out a chronic patterns, chronic symptoms, chronic thoughts, right? You're waking up, you're thinking about it, you're carrying out your day, you're basically playing out these chronic patterns that are keeping you sick, and we need to break those. You don't even know what you're capable of anymore. I bet you don't, because I've been working hard for a long time now to break through my mental barriers, and I just broke through another one this morning. So I was out on my walk like I am every morning, my routine that I've set in place to build the habit of being a walker every single day without fail, no matter what the weather. So I'm walking along this part of the trail that usually takes me about 15 minutes. And all of a sudden I get this kind of voice in my head that says, try running. Why don't you run? Now, I hate running. I have always hated running. Like, I am not a runner. So when people say like, oh, I don't like to run, like times that by a million. I get winded. I hate it. I'm out of breath. I feel terrible. I really loathe every step, and I can never go more than like, I don't know, a couple of driveways without just stopping. So this morning I say to myself, okay, why don't you run, right? You're going to run for about, I don't know, I'm just spacing out my thoughts here because I count in telephone poles. Anyways, I'm not sure what you do, but I'm like, why don't you run for 5 telephone poles apart? Okay, so that's not very far. So inspiration strikes and I start to run. Very slowly, I just start to run slowly. You know, I'm moving along, I'm jogging, and I'm counting the poles and I'm thinking, I will never get there. I pass 1, I pass 2, I'm like, man, just stop. Why are you doing this to yourself? Like, does it even matter? What's the point? Something inside me says, no, you can get to 5, go to 5. So as I'm coming up to 5, a question pops into my head that I like to ask in certain situations. And it was like, what if I just kept going? Could my body be capable of this? So my mind immediately, instead of saying no, which it used to always just say no, stop, my mind is conditioned now to say yes. So my mind responds to my inner question that says, what if I just kept going? Is my body capable of this? And I hear a voice, yes, do another 5. So I'm like thinking in my mind, this is crazy, but I start to run the next 5. And as I'm getting to the next 5, my mind says, what if you didn't stop? What if you ran the whole way? Like down this little part of the road, this trail part that's like, it takes me 15 to 20 minutes to walk it. And immediately that's just like beyond what I've ever done in my life for running. Like it's shattering a mental image of myself that I can't run. And it's just way beyond what I would ever be able to do, right? Because normally I can run a half a block, and that's like the most I've ever been able to run. So this question intrigues me as I'm running. Like, what if I ran the whole way? So I thought to myself, try it. Maybe your body's capable of it. So I keep running, and I get to the spot where it sort of veers off, and it's the perfect spot to stop. And I've been thinking about this milestone moment the whole way, and as I approach it, I just keep going right through it, and I keep going, and I say to myself, you're gonna go to the end of the road, which was like another 10 minutes beyond. So I'm just jogging, I'm continuing my pace, and I'm like amazed with every step I'm taking. Like, oh my God, you're actually running. You haven't fallen down yet. You haven't gotten out of breath yet. You haven't passed out. You haven't fainted. You haven't died of the fact that you don't have any water. I don't know what's happening to you, but you're still running. So I'm like as surprised as anyone, even still, even with all the work that I've done to break through mental barriers. I'm still so like in shock as I'm running. So I'm just keep on running. And when I get to the end of the road, winded, out of breath, I think to myself, wow, that wasn't so bad. that wasn't even worse than running a half a block or 1 block, because it's more mental than it was physical. Meaning, like when I used to before got to that half a block mark, I was already mentally in pain and I was in mental total resistance. Meaning I knew I had to stop and I was going to stop and I didn't think I could go any further. And so I was as winded and as annoyed when I got there. This time when I reached the finish line, which was like a 20-minute walk into a run, so it really didn't take me that long, maybe 7 minutes or something. But when I got there, I was winded, I was tired, I was the whole thing. But it was the same as if I had have just run 2 or 3 telephone poles. It felt the same. And immediately by doing it, by actually doing something that I didn't think I was capable of doing, it broke a barrier for me. And I'm like, wow, if you could run for 20 minutes, could you run for 40? And part of me just thinks, that's crazy. That's insane. That's not even possible, right? But that's a pattern. That's a pattern responding to me. Is it possible? I don't know. I've never pushed my body. I don't even know if it's capable of that. But I know I didn't think it was capable of running this trail. I know I did not think it was possible, period, for me to ever be a runner. I'm a walker and that's all there is to it. I'm not going to be a runner. So shattering this image that I've had of myself since I was like 5 years old was and is incredibly, what's the word? The word is like surprising. It's incredibly surprising in a way that it's showing me there are many barriers. I don't even let myself see that I'm capable of something. I just have this image of myself put in this box of who I am, what I do, and what I'm capable of. And I'm not even sure what I'm capable of, right? Mentally, physically, spiritually, what more could my body do? What more could my heart do? What more could my soul do? What more could my mind do? So breaking through this today was very inspirational to me because, and I thought I would share this with you because it seems like a small thing, but when you break through a barrier that you didn't think was possible to break through, it suddenly opens up almost like a whole new world. It's almost like you're playing a video game and you get to the end of the level, which you thought was the end of the game, and suddenly you find a secret door and you break through this wall and it's a whole new world. All of a sudden, new characters, new opportunities, I'm being very dramatic here, but that's what it feels like suddenly. It feels like more possibilities have been put in front of me, because if I can do that, if my body can do that, then what else can it do? And now I see more possibilities. They become more alive to me. I'm like, could I rock climb? Could I, I don't know, right? Could I do more than I'm pushing myself to do? And so I know you're sick. I know you're not going to get up and run. There was a point when I literally couldn't go from my bed to the bathroom. I had to crawl. Walking from my door to the end of the driveway and back when I was recovering was like next to impossible. It felt like I was climbing Everest. So for me to run that amount today just showed me, wow, look how strong your body's getting and look what you're capable of. And you're capable of more, and not just physically, but anything, right? Could you go back to work? Could you do this? Could you do that, right? What could you do? And it suddenly dawned on me that when you're sick, you really are in a box, and you've really limited your view of the world. And even things that may not be possible because you're sick become possible, and we don't even realize it. Like those elephants, those baby elephants in Africa who are born, right, in some places where they catch them and they keep them captive, and they are chained to these huge trees, and the baby elephants are chained with their feet, and they literally cannot go anywhere because they're chained to these trees. But as they grow huge, and now they're huge, they don't even try to move the tree anymore And they literally could. They have the power to break the chain and go away now. But they don't even try. Because as you change and as you develop and as you grow, you're still in that mental box. So I'm saying, yes, you're sick, but what things are you telling yourself that you can't do that you don't know if that is even true anymore? Because you have made some progress, but you're still hanging on to yesterday's boxes and limitations and beliefs. So what could you do today that you don't know if you're capable of anymore? What could you try that seems totally out of your box? Now, it's okay if you fail, but you won't know unless you try. I would never have known that my body could run that part of the trail without stopping if I didn't try. So try and fail, but try and then push yourself and then ask yourself, can I do more? Can I go farther? Can I go a little longer? Can I do a little more? You won't know. These surprises creep up on us. We're like these elephants who have been chained to the tree. Suddenly we have the power to break free, but we don't even try anymore. Because psychologically, we don't feel it's possible. So this is what I'm hoping for you today. I'm hoping that this has inspired you. I'm hoping that you will see that limitations are things that you're creating for yourself. And when you just say, I can't because I'm sick, think again. Stop and really question yourself. Can you? Are you capable? Could you try? Could you see how far you could go? What if you could do that thing? What would it look like? And go for it and give it a try, because I'm not saying I'm a runner now. I mean, I was out of breath, I was winded, it did not look pretty. But it doesn't matter if I ever become a runner. I now know I'm capable, if I had to, of running that far, right? And that's just something I didn't know about myself, and I would never have known, and I could never have believed unless I tried it. So I want this breakthrough for you. I want you to see the possibilities, and I want you to keep questioning yourself, keep pushing yourself, keep asking the questions, because it changes as you go and as you grow, and it's not the same answer. But if we forget to keep pushing ourselves and keep questioning ourselves and keep breaking those old beliefs and limiting patterns that we have, then we will never ever get there. So I hope this video has been helpful, and I'll see you in the next one. I just wanted to pop back on here to just say I'm just overcome with emotion. I just was walking back and I got to that same part and I was like, what if I just ran? And I did the whole thing again. And you know, partway through, this time I wasn't quite as inspired as I was the last time, and I almost stopped. And I thought, no, keep going, just see. And I did keep going, and I made it. And I'm overcome with emotion thinking back. This has been such a long journey when I couldn't even walk. When I literally had to crawl down the hallway. So to be able to do these walks every day was already a feat. But to be able to do this and run twice in one day is just beyond. It was beyond my limiting beliefs to be able to even comprehend. And so I wanted to pop back on here to say, you don't know. You don't know unless you try. You really don't know. And so take the chance, take the risk. And when it gets hard, keep going. Like, it got hard, you know, like 30 seconds to 1 minute in. And that's when I normally would have stopped. It got really hard. It got psychologically hard. Like, you can't do this. You're not a runner. Like, what are you doing? And I just said, how do I know? What is my body capable of? Let's find out. Can I do a little more? Can I do a little more? I encouraged myself along the way, and it did more than I thought it could. And it's just a miracle and amazing. And I want that kind of breakthrough for you as well. I want you to know that you are capable of more than you're giving yourself credit for, of more than you're doing, and certainly of more than you're believing. So I just wanted to pop back on here and say this: believe in yourself. Believe you can do more, and then you will do more. See you in the next video.